drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our prediction for Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. And we're going straight to the man who predicted Luis Ortiz last week, but that's none of my business. TBE.
All right, y'all. These two, this is the third time. This is the trilogy. And there's been controversial mix-ups in the fights they had. The first fight was it was a draw. The second fight, I felt Canelo won convincingly, and I think this fight right here, Triple G's no spot. He's no spot chicken. Well, he's up there in age. Was he 43 now? 41, 42? He's early 40s, and I think this is his last bag, yo. I don't think he's gonna get in the ring after what Canelo does does next weekend. And I think Canelo's skills have farly advanced since they last fought, and I think it's gonna be a master class. It's gonna be I'm thinking about around like a late 9-10 knockout by Canelo. It's gonna be pretty bad for Triple G.
Not bad. Conspiracy.
I actually agree with Ned on this one. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be like 9th, 10th round knockout. And the reason why is because Canelo in the first fight was Canelo like the boxer. Then Triple G was kind of like, hey, why don't you fight Mexican style? And Canelo brought it to him, but Canelo still wasn't necessarily like playing his feet and really like throwing them punches like we've seen the recent Canelo, right? This new Canelo now, he's really like putting everything in these punches. So that plus Triple G's inactivity, Triple G's age, I don't know if this Triple G can handle this new Canelo, so I kind of feel like Triple G is going to absorb a lot of punishment, and if Canelo doesn't knock him out, he's gonna like probably quit on the stool, or probably like the doctor or somebody's gonna be like, all right, this fight's over with, because he's gonna absorb just too much punishment for old head, So Canelo, man, I think this is a good fight for Canelo, and this is a great comeback after the Bivol loss. You know what I mean? Because Triple G, he's not as big as Bivol. Yeah, Triple G has power, but Canelo has already shown time and time again he has a sturdy chin. So I don't see Triple G knocking out Canelo, obviously, So I honestly feel Canelo's literally going to knock out Triple G. If not a KO, it's going to be a TKO, round 9 or round 10, like what Ned said.
All right. And turning it over to Trill Dollar Bill.
My predictions is the last predictions and my last two predictions of this extravaganza. It hasn't changed.
So you going Triple G, man?
No! A chance. Listen, my man Canelo, going for my man Canelo. I don't care what anybody say. I thought he won the first fight. I thought he won the second fight, and he's definitely going to win the third fight. He got this boy's number. Whatever, and the guy's older. I don't even want to see this fight because it's just going to be pure domination from my man Canelo. It's been stages and been levels, and my man's just been getting better while this guy has just been staying the same or declining, however you want to look at it. I mean, and the last thing to go on a fighter is the power, and we already know that Triple G is a powerful guy and he got a lot of knockouts under his belt, but Canelo is different, and he got a chip on his shoulder, and there was a lot of trash talking, and he's mad about the Bivol fight. You know what I'm saying? If Ramirez don't win, he's going after Bivol again. And everybody talking about like the champ got beat up bad or something. He didn't beat up bad. He just lost a boxing match, from a bigger guy. That's it. But he's coming out here and he's still undisputed at 168. and he's coming out here and he's gonna defend his belts and put on the show. He knows what's at stake here. I just hope Triple G don't get hurt. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for the.
I'm looking for guillotine style.
I know you are, G.
Sorry, dog. I want to see.
I'd be surprised.
I want to see finishing.
Act by like the 7th round, yo.
I'm not giving no. All I'm saying is that I hope Triple G is okay because Canelo is man. Listen. I don't know what I don't know. Pick a body part, G.
Oh man, listen. I'm gonna call a rib, left rib, left rib. We eating ribs, dog. You know what I'm saying? What Triple G? What country you from?
Kazakhstan. Borat. He from where Borat from?
Man, I gotta Google what kind of ribs they make, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Ned, my assistant. Yo, do some Googles, man. We're gonna find a recipe.
We're gonna find a dish. Kazakhstan dish. You know what I mean?
About to have some ribs. You know what I mean?
Man, listen, y'all can say whatever y'all want, man. He's a Canelo fanboy, whatever. I just like the guy, and I think that he is. Since my other man, Floyd Mayweather retired, this is the guy to me who took that torch and moved on and took it. You know, so I'm rooting with the homie Canelo. I'm not gonna change my pick. I thought he won the first one, the second one. I picked him all those ones, and I'm gonna pick him this one too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Saul, the youngest of all the boys. You know, happened to be the star. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I also, man, shoot, I want to talk about that with you brothers too later on. How y'all feel about him saying that he don't want to fight no other Mexican fighters. I want to talk about that with you guys later.
We already spoke about it, bro. You know how I feel.
I'm just talking about everybody.
It sounds like he ducking somebody, but
now we're gonna get into that another time. G, stop that, G. Stop that, G. Nah, man, stop that, G. I think it's deeper, man.
You don't want no DB problem.
I mean, we can get into that. We can make that a topic. We can make that the next topic.
All right, we're gonna get into that.
I'll give my prediction real quick. Triple G, I think, some people like Triple G. I always saw Triple G as a media creation. I always felt like HBO needed a star, so they were trying to build up Triple G. And I felt like he was in there with mediocre competition at best. He was knocking out mediocre guys, and they were building them up as the big drama show. And the first fight between Canelo was promoted as Triple G was this big drama show, and Canelo was supposedly afraid of him, didn't want no smoke with him. And we saw the first fight. Canelo utilized more boxing, right, than Triple G, and people called it running. Play the tapes again. See, this is the beauty of boxing because the tapes don't go away. Canelo utilized boxing, and Triple G tried to slug with him. Now, even us on the screen, I believe the first fight, G had it for Triple G. I had it for
Canelo.
First fight,
yeah, because I thought it was close, but I still gave it to Canelo.
Okay, so then we all had it for Canelo. Now, what's funny to me is if that same fight that Canelo did against Triple G was done by Vasily Lomachenko, people would be raving about it. It would be a masterclass. It would be, beautiful boxing. But it was done by Canelo, so it's running. Right? So that to me is what we really need to get at. So Canelo did that, and it was called running. To me, it was boxing when he did it. To me, it's boxing when Vasily does it. To me, it's boxing when Devin does it. I love it. I love seeing all these beautiful boxers like Usyk. Pause, though. Like Usyk, like showing the beautiful skill. Because like as my bro always points out, Usyk showing the beautiful skill shows why boxing is a sport. Could Usyk beat Anthony Joshua in a weightlifting contest? Probably not. Could he beat Anthony Joshua in a foot race? I don't know. Probably not. Could he beat Anthony Joshua in a whole bunch of things? but he beat him in a boxing match. Why? Because boxing is about skills. At the end of the day, it's about skills. It don't matter. All that other stuff don't matter. I remember when Victor Ortiz was flexing his muscles to Floyd and talking like, "Oh, you see my muscles?" And muscles don't win fights.
Thanks.
That's a perfect example for our homies across the pond. Give y'all something to smile about. Lacey and Joe Calzaghe. Jeff Lacey came out. You know?
And Joe Calzaghe smoked him. And I love watching that. Because to me, that proves that boxing is about the sweet science at the end of the day. It's about commitment. It's about dedication. It's about the sport. I love seeing Vasily outbox someone. And I enjoyed watching Canelo outbox Triple G, which was what I saw in that first fight. Then Triple G said, Mexican style. Oh, he was running, whatever. Canelo then went toe-to-toe with him. And I felt like he still beat Triple G. Still, there are people out there who feel like Canelo didn't beat Triple G. Now, Trill, I hear you say like, oh, people come at you and say you're biased. The funny thing to me about the people who accuse you of bias, don't look in the mirror and see the potential for the bias that they have within themselves, right? For we are all humans, so we have the potential to be biased. Remember, our bias could be for a group. Say, like, if you're from the UK and another fighter's from the UK, maybe you have a slight bias toward that fighter. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Just means you should be aware of it. And so, instead of pointing fingers at everyone else, maybe you have a slight bias, right? So, for example, I watch Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. I happen to think Amanda Serrano won. My two co-hosts feel like Katie Taylor won. Never once did we come at each other on some bias about whatever, right? My co-hosts know me, so they wouldn't come at me about me picking a fighter simply because a fighter's Puerto Rican, because they know me and they see me pick against Puerto Rican fighters all the time. They see me pick against black fighters all the time. But some Irish person from the UK says that I'm biased towards Amanda Serrano because she's Puerto Rican, overlooking the fact that they're Irish and from the UK. So could it be that you favored Katie because it's so dumb? No, there's an argument that Katie won. There's an argument that Amanda won because that's what it is. That's what close fights do. Close fights, there's always going to be that debate. There are those debates for the greatest fights in history, and you're never going to change anyone's mind, and that's fine. That's how you know someone's a real boxing fan.
Hold up. Katie Taylor's not black. She lost that fight.
I bring that up because someone in the comment section is straight crazy because we all pick Clarissa Shields to beat Savannah Marshall says, oh, because she's white. And I just sit back and say, like, my man.
Did they watch the previous episode when I picked Michaela?
And not only that, to say that, how many times have we picked Vasily over black fighters, Tyson Fury, everyone, incorrectly, might I add? No, we're picking a more accomplished fighter. But the point that I'm bringing is there are biases in everyone. And for everyone to come at someone and say, you're biased because you like Canelo, maybe you're just biased because you don't like Canelo, is the point that I'm trying to get at. So just as much as you say, oh, well, Trill's biased because he likes Canelo, or oh, this channel's biased towards Canelo, never stop to think that maybe you're biased and you just don't like Canelo. Maybe you don't like Canelo for a reason. Maybe you feel like Canelo got it easy, which I don't know how you can. Look at his resume. Maybe you feel like his look is what people like. Maybe you feel like whatever. I don't know.
Some people just don't like to see a person on top. They just want to see a person down, and just hate the hate.
I feel you.
That's why the internet.
Oh, they love to hate. They love to hate.
That's why. Yeah, that's why Floyd became so rich.
That's true. Which brings me to another point. I don't like what Clarissa did with Brashear, but she didn't do anything. I don't like what her brother did to Brashear, but that wasn't really on Clarissa. And I don't like everything Clarissa does or says. But if I'm picking a boxing match, I'm supposed to decide who I think is going to win that fight. Mm-hmm. So I look at the skills of each fighter, and that's who I pick. Right? When I picked Tyson Fury to beat Deontay Wilder from the beginning, from fight one, it was never because I didn't like Deontay Wilder as a man. I think what he did is one of the most noble things you could ever do. To help his daughter, he walked into a gym. What happened?
I said because you was rooting for the white man.
I know. That's another thing. You can't win, right? I picked Tyson Fury to beat Deontay Wilder. Then I got
you remember that? In the comment section, they were killing us. They were like, how can y'all brothers call y'all brothers?
Y'all rooting against the brother. You can't win. I picked a better boxer. I picked a better boxer.
Bro. Y'all the boxing red coats.
I picked all I did was pick the man who beat the 10-year reigning champ Vladimir Klitschko, the man who I think is one of the most talented fighters of this generation. That's all I did.
You sell out. You sell out.
But then the knockout came, and then it became a bunch of other stuff. All I'm saying is, like, right, we all have to be careful about pointing this biased finger and saying, like, oh, y'all are Canelo this, y'all are Canelo that. Just first look at the points people are making, and are they valid? Are they valid? Are they reasonable? Right? And if they are, then maybe there's no bias there. We are allowed to see things differently. We are allowed to see things differently, and that is okay. What's not okay is automatically pointing fingers and saying, like, oh, that this is racist, or oh, you're picking this, that. Yo, stop it. Okay? Because now you're projecting. Mm-hmm. Like, did you hear anything that I said? When I said the person who accused me of that, ironically, I said if you're picking Savannah Marshall to win by knockout, then I understand why you're picking Savannah Marshall. But I picked Shields because I don't think that Marshall's going to knock her out, and I don't think she can outbox Shields. So that's why I picked Shields. If I thought a fight was going to end in a knockout, I would pick Savannah because Shields don't knock people out. But I don't think that's going to happen in that fight. Anyway, getting back to this fight. Father Time is undefeated. There was a man who had a great beard, and he took phenomenal punches. I've seen him take some of the best punches that I've ever seen in the sport of boxing. His name was Carlos Baldomir. And then one day he got in the ring with this young lad, and he knocked him spark out. That lad was Canelo Alvarez. I feel like Canelo's going to put another old man to bed, and that man's going to be Triple G. And there's no disrespect to Triple G. I just never thought Triple G was this beast. He was a media creation. Whenever Triple G got hit a lot, they would say, oh, were you letting him hit you, Triple G? You were letting him hit you, right, Triple G? Oh, I wanted him to hit me because drama show.
Cut
the crap.
No, Max. He's a good boy, Max. No.
They're all good boys, Max. No, Max, I want to create drama. I let him touch me a little bit, Max. That's they ate that up. Can you imagine AJ saying that though? There's a whole different story. But anyways, all I'm saying is I think Canelo is going to beat Triple G because he's older. He's been showing kinks in the armor. He's been getting hurt by fighters who aren't the caliber of Canelo Alvarez. I think his time is up. So I'm picking Canelo Alvarez. Plus, I think Canelo Alvarez beat him the first 2 times. If you disagree with that, that's fine. But is it logical? Is it reasonable? If it's not reasonable to you, then that's fine too. If you consider me a Canelo Alvarez, whatever, and I'm biased, whatever, then that's fine because it tells me you're probably really the one who's biased and just can't realize it.
You know, I wish we could do this is like on YouTube review the fights with our supporters. Like anytime they really challenge us, we actually play the fight round for round and had them person on the screen be like, what score did you really give that round right there? You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't understand, man. People be like, oh, y'all are casuals, y'all are this, y'all are that, y'all rooting for the black person, y'all rooting for the American, I'm like, yo, come on, bro. Like, I don't know. I just don't see what people be seeing. And I've seen Canelo lose before that he got the W. I still remember Canelo versus Laura. And I hated Laura's performance in that fight. I felt like he ran too much. But he actually won that fight in my scorecard. I was like, damn, Canelo.
I gave it to him by 1 round on my scorecard.
I was like, Laura, yo, you a runner, but you did win. You know what I'm saying? But you ran a lot. And that I was like, maybe that's why the judges probably gave it to Canelo. They didn't like his style, whatever. But I've seen Canelo lose before. You know, like, I'm not just going to blindly say, oh, I got Canelo and Canelo won. I'm not doing that, you know? So, but, you know, people go, oh, well, if it's Wilder, then, and I'm like, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we just going to get hate regardless. That's why I barely respond to the comments. You know
it ain't even that. And I think you brought up a great point. I scored Laura 114, I think 113 for Laura. But the thing was, I also understood that Laura didn't do enough down the stretch.
Yeah, he was.
It's like Josh Taylor with Catterall. I scored the fight for Catterall, but I can understand how he gave away the last 4 rounds. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. When you guys point out how Amanda Serrano gave away those later rounds, I understand that, and that's why she lost the fight. People got Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad gave away the last 4 rounds. That's how he lost that fight. I can understand that. Even when people say, but all fighters get decisions that people feel like they shouldn't get. There were people who debated that Luis Castillo beat Floyd Mayweather in the first fight. I didn't score it that way, but there are people who debate that. I watched that fight several times. I thought Floyd won. Floyd gave him a rematch, beat him again.
Dominated the second fight.
Tyson Fury versus McDermott. A lot of people say that Tyson Fury lost that fight. Excuse me. Personally, I never watched that fight, so I can't really say, but I think we should watch that Tyson Fury McDermott fight. People say that it was a robbery. So if Tyson Fury benefited from a decision, do we take away his greatness? Do we sit here and act like he didn't just beat Deontay Wilder? He didn't beat Vladimir Klitschko. He didn't beat... I just told you, Klitschko got knocked out by a dude with 20 L's, 13 L's at the time he knocked out Klitschko. Does that mean Klitschko's not great? What are we doing here? Like, I don't understand. Like, for real.
True. I forgot.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.